feels so good. This may or may not make sense. I don't mind heat, I don't mind sweating, but humidity sucks donkey balls. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a big puddle of oil. Greetings and salutations. Alright, so there's my heater box in place. It's not complete. It's not bolted down or anything. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do here in the front, but at least that's done. There's two motors in there. Only one's working, and I think it's the resistor that's bad on one of them. I don't know, I'll have to do some more testing. Yesterday I had a little bit of, let me just show you. So, I went and fired this thing up because I hadn't done that in a while. So I brought the battery charger over here to the battery bank and charged the batteries back up and started it up, let it run for a little bit, and after it warmed up, I got in the captain's chair and I revved her up and held her at about 2,500 RPMs for a few seconds. Came back out here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a big puddle of oil. It spewed all over the ground. It only does it at RPM. Stay. Yeah, click, click, click. So, shut up. So right there is crankcase vent, right? And that goes to the back of the engine, hooks to a rubber hose, goes down the side of the engine, dumps down next to the oil pan. Oil is just spurting out of there. And then I noticed here too, this was covered in oil, and dipstick had pushed out. That's been a pretty normal occurrence because the previous owner put this bungee strap on there to hold the dipstick in. Got a feeling that's not the original dipstick. Could be wrong. You know, the engine running and spewing oil all over the thing. You can see that the ground's still wet with oil. But I didn't lose the oil pressure. It was idling at 35 psi oil pressure. I pulled the dipstick, and it's got a little bit too much oil in it. So that's about at 6 inches, and there you can see the full line. I can't tell if it smells like fuel or not. I don't know if I overfilled it. I don't know if you remember in a previous episode, way back, I put 2.5 gallons of oil in that, and that's low again. I don't know. This is for the power steering, and I don't know if there's any way for the power steering pump to leak because it's driven off the end of the air compressor, right? This air compressor is driven off. Underneath this timing cover, there's a series of gears driven off the crank. That drives the air compressor, and then the power steering pump is mounted to that. And I believe this, yeah, this drives the power steering pump and also drives the fan motor. And I just don't know enough about these engines to know. I'm a little discouraged. You know, at this point in the game, I really can't have an engine failure. You know, it could be something simple, it could be something not so simple, but for whatever reason, crankcase is getting pressurized at about 2,500 RPMs. The last thing I need to be doing is dumping freaking oil on the highway. So if any of you are familiar with it, Cummins Turbo 8.3, this is a 1995 chassis, Freightliner chassis. So if any of you are familiar with the 8.3 and can point me in the right direction, I would surely appreciate that. Well, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep plugging along. The engine holds, the best I can tell, it holds 21 quarts of oil. 1 quart over 5 gallons of oil. So when I do an oil change on this, I got to move it into the driveway here pretty soon because I'm going to coat the roof and charge the air conditioning. But I want to do that in the driveway. I don't want to do it over here. I want to plug the bus in. So anyway, after I move it, and I'll get it warmed up one more time to drain the oil. I'll drain the oil, and I'll capture some of it while it's draining, set it off for an oil analysis, and see if there's fuel in the oil, and find out if there's anything else in the oil that I need to be concerned about. Also, in behind here, this is all the chassis wiring apparently, and this is the sub panel for all the bus wiring, like the lights and stuff inside the bus compartment. If you can see, I got rid of 99.9% of all this crap. Now, right now, the only switches I have in here are the fan switches for the heater motor and the switch for the circ pump, which is not wired in. This is the fuel water separator warning light, apparently. Anyway, you see some, oh, that's a cigarette lighter. Some wiring got hot at some point in this bus life, so I replaced some of those. But there's two solenoids here. There's this solenoid and this solenoid. This solenoid powers this bar, this bus bar, with all these circuit breakers. This solenoid, this solenoid powers all this. I ran this bus yesterday for about 15 minutes, and then after I found that it was spewing oil, I shut it down. But I was hooking up these switches for the heaters, right? For the heater box that I built. And I had touched these, and they were freaking blazing hot. I mean, they were too hot to hold your fingers, the back of your fingers onto for an extended period of time. Well over 100 degrees. Are they supposed to do that? Both of them were like that. I don't think they're supposed to be that way, and yeah, I don't think they're supposed to be that way. Am I wrong? Comment in the comment section. Ouch. That's all I got today. At least to finish those two projects. AC's installed, wired and hooked up. Just got to charge the system now, and that's completed, at least as far as I'm going to complete it now. I got other things I can do to dress it up, and I'm going to try to do something with a padded dash over here. But anyway, at least I can get that fastened to the floor, and I got my PEX for the heater, the heat system, and I get that transitioned in the rubber lines, and get the rubber lines in. Geez, right into the sun. Get the rubber lines mounted and back there where they need to be, and hooked up, and then I can check that off the list. Ouch. So here we're at the end of another video, and if you like what you saw, hammer away at that like button. If you didn't like it, hammer away at the dislike button. Either way is okay with me. If you like this series, share this with your vast social media network. If you don't like this series, share it with your vast social media network so the trolls can find it and come over here and make fun of me. Oh, if you haven't subscribed yet, underneath this window is a red button that says subscribe. Kind of hard to miss. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, and then right next to it is a picture of a blue bell. I think it's blue. Either way, there's a picture of a bell. Click on that bell icon, you'll be notified of future uploads. It's my wife's birthday today. Wish Debbie a happy birthday. And until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, and have a splendid day. Okay. I gotta go cry my cornflakes now. Bye.